Welcome to my channel, Sella Buzz. James Garner and Steve McQueen shared the screen in The Great Escape, but their off-screen relationship was anything but friendly. Garner, known for his professionalism and easygoing nature, had a blunt assessment of McQueen, stating, "He wasn't an actor, he was a poser." This remark wasn't just about McQueen's acting skills, it reflected deeper issues that defined his personality and career. McQueen carefully crafted his image as Hollywood's ultimate cool guy, but his behavior on set often caused disruptions and alienated co-stars. His time on The Great Escape, set in 1963, highlighted these tensions. McQueen played Captain Virgil Hiltz, the iconic Cooler King, while Garner took on the role of Hendley, the resourceful scrounger. While McQueen was already a rising star, his ego grew alongside his fame. He wanted to be the central figure in every film, and when he first read the script, he was unhappy. His character wasn't the obvious hero, and that didn't sit well with him. Frustrated, he voiced his dissatisfaction so loudly that it became a production headache. At one point, he even threatened to leave the film entirely, unless his role was rewritten to better suit his desired image. Director John Sturges, already managing a complex ensemble cast, was prepared to move on without McQueen. However, the studio wouldn't allow it. McQueen was too valuable. To placate him, the filmmakers added motorcycle stunts to his role, including the now iconic barbed wire jump, which never happened in real life. Even with this concession, McQueen refused to perform the stunt himself after failing in practice, leaving the daring leap to his stunt double, Bud Ekins. Garner later spoke about how McQueen's antics affected the cast and crew. Unlike McQueen, who sought the spotlight at all costs, Garner was a team player. He earned $50,000 for his role, far less than McQueen's $875,000, but remained professional and dedicated. Having served in the Korean War, Garner brought genuine authenticity to his role and helped keep the production moving forward. At one point, he even mediated tensions between McQueen and the crew, helping to keep the film on track. McQueen's on-set behavior wasn't exclusive to The Great Escape. He frequently clashed with co-stars throughout his career. During the Towering Inferno, he and Paul Newman argued over everything from screen time to promotional billing. The studio had to compromise, listing McQueen's name first horizontally while placing Newman's name higher vertically. McQueen even went so far as to count the number of lines they each had, erupting in anger when he realized Newman had more. On the set of The Magnificent Seven, McQueen's scene-stealing antics nearly drove Yul Brynner mad. He would fidget with props, adjust his hat, or shift his position to draw attention, undermining Brynner's commanding presence. While fans adored McQueen's rebellious persona, his colleagues saw through it. Garner, in particular, dismissed it as an act, stating that McQueen was a manufactured movie star, unlike true actors like Marlon Brando. Despite McQueen's undeniable screen presence, his insecurity and desire for dominance often overshadowed his performances. Garner's criticism of McQueen as a poser wasn't just a harsh remark. It was an observation from someone who understood the difference between an actor and a celebrity. James Garner valued authenticity both on and off the screen, which is why he found Steve McQueen's obsession with image over substance disappointing. Garner believed that McQueen's fixation on maintaining his cool persona hindered his growth as an actor and distanced him from those around him. However, despite their differences and on-set tensions, the two managed to maintain a friendship after The Great Escape. Garner's easygoing nature likely played a role in this, as he seemed to brush off McQueen's difficult behavior, while others found it intolerable. Later in life, as McQueen battled terminal cancer, he reportedly sought forgiveness from those he had clashed with, including Yul Brynner. This attempt at reconciliation showed a more vulnerable side of the man who had spent much of his career battling insecurities behind his tough exterior. The Great Escape remains a classic, in part due to the charisma and performances of its ensemble cast. McQueen's motorcycle stunts became legendary, while Garner's portrayal of Hendley added depth and humanity to the film. Other cast members, including Charles Bronson and Donald Pleasance, brought their real-life war experiences to their roles, adding an extra layer of realism. While behind-the-scenes conflicts could have derailed the production, They instead added to the mystique of Hollywood's golden age, a time when larger-than-life personalities often clashed but still managed to create unforgettable art. James Garner's assessment of McQueen remains one of the most unfiltered critiques in Hollywood history. Yet there's no denying that McQueen's flaws made him a fascinating figure. He wasn't just the king of cool on screen. He was a deeply complex person struggling to balance his ambition, talent, and ego. Garner and McQueen were frequently compared as leading men of their era, but their differences couldn't have been more striking. On the surface, McQueen had it all: the style, the swagger, and the rugged appeal that made him a cultural icon. But beneath that persona was a man battling insecurity and an overpowering need for control. He projected an image of effortless confidence, but in reality, he wrestled with inner demons. Garner, on the other hand, represented quiet strength and genuine decency. While he endured hardships growing up, including abuse from his stepmother, he channeled those experiences into becoming a compassionate and principled man. He stood up for others and was known in Hollywood for his kindness, a rarity in an industry often ruled by oversized egos. McQueen's struggles extended beyond his professional rivalries. His personal life was tumultuous, marked by infidelity, anger, and moments of disturbing behavior. One chilling story from his marriage to Nell McQueen reveals this darker side. During the filming of Le Mans, she visited him on set, only to find herself surrounded by women constantly vying for his attention. When confronted, McQueen didn't deny his infidelity. Instead, he allegedly turned the blame on her, at one point forcing her to take drugs, holding a gun to her head, and coercing her into confessing to an affair she never had. This stark contrast between McQueen's public image and private reality is what makes his story so complicated. He exuded effortless charm on screen, but off-screen, he struggled with personal demons that affected those around him. Even in his professional life, his insecurities manifested in ways that frustrated his co-stars. On the set of The Towering Inferno, his rivalry with Paul Newman reached legendary levels. McQueen insisted on equal billing, going so far as to count dialogue lines to ensure Newman didn't have more than him. By contrast, Garner handled his career with a sense of fairness and humility. If a director mistreated someone on set, Garner was the first to step in and defend them. He proved that Hollywood success didn't require arrogance or manipulation. His legacy, unlike McQueen's, isn't just built on his filmography but on the respect he earned from those who knew him. In the end, McQueen's flaws made him a compelling figure, but Garner's integrity made him a true icon. If you're looking for a Hollywood legend to admire, Garner is the one who truly deserves the title. James Garner believed in treating people with respect, regardless of their status or role in Hollywood. Unlike Steve McQueen, who carefully curated his image as the ultimate cool guy, Garner's charm and confidence were effortless. He didn't need flashy antics to stand out. His talent and genuine nature spoke for themselves. Whether it was in The Rockford Files or Maverick, Garner brought warmth and humanity to his roles, making him truly unforgettable. Both men shared a deep passion for racing, but even in this arena, their approaches were strikingly different. While McQueen is often celebrated for his driving skills, Garner was no amateur. In fact, professional. Racing coach Bob Bondurant once remarked that Garner had the talent to compete in Formula One and beat some of the top drivers of his era. During the filming of Grand Prix, Garner insisted on doing his own driving, and the results were spectacular. The film became a vivid and exhilarating tribute to racing, often considered more engaging than McQueen's Le Mans, which many critics found slow and uninspired. What truly set Garner apart, however, was how he treated the people around him. His marriage to Lois Clark lasted an incredible 58 years, a rarity in Hollywood, where relationships are often fleeting. He lived with the same integrity off-screen as he did on it. McQueen's life, on the other hand, was marked by turbulence. He had moments of vulnerability that hinted at a deeper pain beneath his bravado. But time and again, his insecurities got the best of him. One revealing moment from their time in Hollywood highlights their contrasting personalities. McQueen, ever suspicious and insecure, once believed his wife was having an affair with Garner. When confronted, Garner didn't lash out or become defensive. Instead, he simply responded, "He's not a bad guy, just insecure." That one sentence said everything about Garner's character. Instead of anger, he chose understanding. He saw through McQueen's tough exterior, recognizing it for what it truly was, a shield for his vulnerabilities. McQueen had the leather jackets, the sunglasses, and the undeniable star power, but when you look deeper, it's Garner who truly shines. He didn't just look the part, he lived it. He embodied the kind of integrity, kindness, and quiet strength that made him a real-life hero. So if you're tempted to emulate a Hollywood legend, think twice before reaching for McQueen's signature shades. Instead, take a page from Garner's playbook. Be kind, be confident, and make the people around you feel valued. Because at the end of the day, that's the kind of cool that really matters. Steve McQueen's life came to a sudden and tragic end, but not before a whirlwind of controversy, health struggles, and a legacy that continues to spark conversation. In his final years, the confident persona he projected on screen gave way to the reality of a man desperately trying to maintain control as his health deteriorated. It all began with a persistent cough in 1978. Determined to take charge of his health, McQueen quit smoking, but his condition only worsened. Shortness of breath soon followed, leaving doctors scrambling for answers. In late 1979, after completing the Hunter, he was given a grim diagnosis: pleural mesothelioma, a rare and aggressive cancer typically linked to asbestos exposure. For McQueen, the news was devastating. But true to his rebellious nature, he refused to accept defeat. McQueen was convinced that his illness stemmed from his time in the Marines, where he had stripped asbestos insulation from pipes on a troop ship. Others speculated it could have been the asbestos found in racing suits or even insulation used on film sets. Regardless of the cause, McQueen was determined to fight the disease on his own terms. Rejecting conventional treatment, he sought out alternative therapies in Mexico. His experimental regimen included live cell injections, coffee enemas, and a controversial drug called latril, none of which had any proven medical effectiveness. Yet McQueen clung to the hope that these treatments might offer a miracle cure, spending as much as $40,000 per month on them. By the time he returned to the U.S. in late 1980, the cancer had spread aggressively throughout his body. Tumors formed in his neck and abdomen, including one so large it weighed 5 pounds. Against all medical advice, McQueen insisted on undergoing high-risk surgery in Ciudad Juarez, Mexico, to remove the tumors. It was a desperate move, and his already weakened heart couldn't withstand the strain. Just hours after the operation, Steve McQueen passed away on November 7, 1980. He was only 50 years old. His death marked the end of an era. Known as the King of Cool, his untimely passing left fans mourning and reignited discussions about his complex life and career. Though he left behind an iconic filmography, his story remains a cautionary tale of fame, insecurity, and the relentless search for control. In the end, McQueen was not just the rugged action hero audiences adored. He was a deeply flawed and complicated man, struggling to find peace both on and off the screen. Over the years, Steve McQueen's legacy has only grown, cementing his place as a Hollywood icon. From being inducted into the Motorcycle Hall of Fame to having streets named in his honor, McQueen remains a symbol of rugged individuality and rebellious charm. His influence even extended posthumously, as his battle with mesothelioma raised awareness about asbestos-related diseases. However, while McQueen's life was cut short at just 50 years old, James Garner's story took a different path, one marked by longevity, resilience, and a legacy built on kindness and professionalism. Garner outlived McQueen by decades, passing away at the age of 86. However, he was not without his own health struggles. Years of performing his own stunts and physically demanding roles took a serious toll on his body. By the 2000s, he had undergone multiple knee surgeries, including a double knee replacement. Decades earlier, in 1988, he faced a major health scare when he underwent quintuple bypass heart surgery. Yet, unlike McQueen, who often found himself caught in the turbulence of his own life, Garner approached his challenges with stability and grace. Though he continued smoking long after doctors warned him of its dangers, he eventually quit, and persevered through strokes and other health setbacks until his passing in 2014. When Garner died, the tributes from Hollywood poured in, demonstrating the immense respect and admiration he had earned. Clint Eastwood, who had worked alongside him, acknowledged his influence, saying, "Garner opened the door for people like Steve McQueen and myself." Tom Selleck, who considered Garner a mentor, described him as a true friend. Actress Sally Field, who starred with him in Murphy's Romance, called him a rare gem in an industry filled with egos. What truly set Garner apart wasn't just his long and successful career or his ability to endure physically challenging roles. It was his unwavering integrity, empathy, and humility. Unlike many of his peers, he did not cultivate a Hollywood persona. He was the same honorable and kind-hearted man off-screen as he was on it. He was deeply devoted to his wife Lois, with whom he shared nearly 6 decades of marriage, an anomaly in the entertainment world. Garner was also a vocal advocate for civil rights and equality, mentoring young actors and treating everyone on set with the same level of respect, regardless of their status. Even as his health declined in his later years, Garner remained dignified and steadfast. His legacy lives on, not just in his body of work, but in the countless people he influenced. In his hometown of Norman, Oklahoma, a statue stands in his honor, a tribute to the man who brought warmth and authenticity to every role he played. The contrast between McQueen and Garner extended far beyond their careers and personalities. It was also evident in the way they faced their mortality. McQueen, the eternal rebel, fought his illness with defiance, seeking experimental treatments and refusing to accept his fate. His relentless pursuit of control, even in his final days, was a reflection of the struggles he faced throughout his life. Garner, on the other hand, met his health battles with quiet resilience, adapting and pressing forward with the same steady determination that defined his career. It's hard not to wonder how McQueen's life might have unfolded if he had lived longer. Would he have mellowed with age, finding peace with his past and embracing a more contented existence? Or would his insecurities and relentless drive for dominance have continued to shape him? While these questions remain unanswered, one thing is certain. Both McQueen and Garner left an indelible mark on Hollywood, albeit in vastly different ways. McQueen will always be celebrated for his effortless cool, his iconic style, and his unforgettable performances. But Garner's legacy shines in a different light, one of quiet strength, genuine kindness, and a career built not just on talent, but on character. In many ways, they were two sides of the same coin, both larger-than-life figures who captivated audiences, yet approached life in completely opposite ways. If McQueen was the fiery star that burned bright and fast, Garner was the steady force. That proved that authenticity, humility, and respect could be just as captivating. As we reflect on their legacies, it becomes clear that what truly endures is not just the roles they played or the vehicles they drove, but the choices they made, the values they upheld, and the inspiration they continue to provide to this day.